To achieve success in any endeavor, certain principles must guide us, principles that are not born from comfort, but forged in the fire of challenge and perseverance. First, one must have the courage to begin. Every great journey starts with a decision to act, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Those who succeed are often those who were afraid, but chose to move forward anyway. Second, success demands discipline. Dreams alone are not enough. They require structure, routine, and the will to continue even when motivation fades. Discipline is what carries us through the days when progress feels invisible. It is in the quiet commitment to our purpose that true growth occurs. Third, one must possess resilience. Setbacks are inevitable. No meaningful achievement comes without failure. But what defines us is not how many times we fall, but how many times we rise. Resilience is the strength to stand again, wiser and more determined, and to turn obstacles into stepping stones. Finally, success is impossible without compassion. True greatness is not achieved in isolation. It is measured by how we lift others as we rise. When we act with empathy and serve with humility, we build not only our own legacy, but a foundation for those who follow. Let us then strive to embody these qualities, not for applause, not for recognition, but because they lead to a life of purpose, and through that, to genuine success. Courage is the foundation upon which all success is built. It is the force that pushes us beyond hesitation, fear, and self-doubt. Without courage, even the most brilliant ideas remain unspoken, and the most promising paths remain untraveled. It is often misunderstood as the absence of fear, but true courage exists in the presence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it. Many people wait for the perfect moment, believing they must first be fearless to act. But the truth is, courage is not something you wait for. It is something you summon, especially when the stakes are high and the outcome is uncertain. Taking the first step toward a goal or a dream often involves risk. There's the risk of failure, of rejection, of ridicule. Yet those who succeed are not the ones who never feared those things, but the ones who acknowledged them and acted anyway. History and everyday life are filled with examples of people who achieved greatness not because they were fearless, but because they were willing to face discomfort and uncertainty. Courage means walking into the unknown, standing up for what you believe in, and daring to be different, even when it is unpopular or lonely. Courage also plays a key role in personal growth. It requires honesty with oneself, to admit weaknesses, to confront bad habits, and to challenge limiting beliefs. It takes courage to let go of what is familiar and safe, to ask difficult questions, and to admit when you are wrong. In a world that often rewards conformity, courage is what allows individuals to remain true to their values and purpose. It is the voice that says, "Try again," after failure, and the strength that keeps you moving forward when everyone else has given up. Moreover, courage inspires others. When one person stands firm in the face of adversity, it lights a spark in those around them. It shows others that fear can be overcome, that strength comes from within, and that it is possible to live with integrity even under pressure. Whether in a quiet act of resistance or a bold move to change direction, courage has a ripple effect. It gives permission to others to be brave as well. Ultimately, courage is not just about the big, dramatic moments. Often it is found in the small, everyday choices, speaking your truth, showing vulnerability, asking for help, or standing up for someone else. These moments may seem insignificant at the time, but they shape who you become. Success in life does not come from avoiding fear, but from consistently choosing to face it, to learn from it, and to grow stronger because of it. Courage is not something you are born with, it is something you develop, one decision at a time. Discipline is the quiet engine that drives success forward. While passion can ignite the desire to achieve something great, it is discipline that sustains the journey when the excitement fades. It is the ability to stay focused, to make consistent efforts, and to honor your commitment, even when no one is watching. Without discipline, goals remain dreams and ambition stays unrealized. It is not glamorous and it is rarely easy, but it is absolutely essential. True discipline is not forced or harsh. It is a form of self-respect. It says, "My goals matter enough for me to show up every day, whether I feel like it or not." One of the most powerful aspects of discipline is its ability to build momentum. Success rarely happens in giant leaps. It is built in small, deliberate steps taken day after day. A person who wakes up early to study, who practices their craft even when tired, who resists short-term temptations for long-term rewards, this is someone who understands the value of discipline. Each action may seem small on its own, but over time the results become undeniable. Discipline compounds just like interest in a bank account. The more you invest in it, the greater the return. Discipline also brings clarity. When you are disciplined, you are not easily swayed by distractions or fleeting emotions. You stay grounded in your purpose. You can say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what brings you closer to your goals. This kind of clarity is rare in a world filled with noise and competing demands for your attention, but it is what separates those who wish from those who achieve. With discipline, you take control of your time, your habits, and ultimately, your life. Moreover, discipline creates freedom. It may sound like a contradiction, but structure actually allows for more flexibility in the long run. When you are disciplined in managing your time and energy, you gain the freedom to explore, create, and rest without guilt. You are not at the mercy of procrastination or crisis. You make room for opportunity because you are prepared. In contrast, a lack of discipline leads to chaos, missed chances, and constant stress. Success, therefore, is not just about working hard, it's about working smart and consistently, and that's what discipline teaches. Finally, discipline builds character. It teaches patience, responsibility, and perseverance. It strengthens your ability to endure discomfort for the sake of something greater. It shows you who you really are when things are hard and no one else is pushing you. Through discipline, you come to understand that success is not just about talent or luck, but about showing up, doing the work, and refusing to quit. It is a lifelong practice, and those who embrace it will find not only success, but a deep sense of personal pride and fulfillment. Resilience is the strength that allows us to endure hardship, recover from failure, and continue moving forward in the face of adversity. It is not about avoiding pain or setbacks, but about how we respond to them. Everyone encounters challenges. No path to success is smooth or predictable. What separates those who succeed from those who give up is not how few times they fall, but how many times they are willing to rise. Resilience is that inner resolve that says, "This is not the end. I will try again." It is forged in difficulty and strengthened each time we choose persistence over surrender. Life will inevitably test your patience, your faith, and your determination. You will encounter rejection, loss, disappointment, and even failure, but these are not signs that you are on the wrong path. They are part of the process. Every struggle offers an opportunity to grow. Resilience means recognizing that pain and failure are not final, but part of a larger story. It's about learning the lessons, adjusting your approach, and continuing with even more wisdom than before. Resilience also helps build emotional strength. It teaches you how to manage your response to stress and pressure. Instead of crumbling in the face of obstacles, resilient people find ways to adapt. They seek solutions, draw strength from within, and reach out for help when needed. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. Resilience is not about pretending to be okay when you're not. It's about being honest about your pain and choosing to rise anyway. It's about facing the storm with steady resolve and saying, I will not be defined by this moment, but by how I move through it. In many ways, resilience builds confidence. Each time you overcome a setback, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Your self-belief grows not because everything is going smoothly, but because you have seen your own ability to survive and adapt. Success becomes less about avoiding failure and more about what you do after it. That mindset is powerful. It keeps you grounded when things go wrong and humble when things go right. Resilience also inspires others. When people see someone keep going despite the odds, they are reminded that they can do the same. Your courage to endure becomes a light for others walking through darkness. You never know who is watching, who needs to see an example of strength in motion. In this way, resilience creates a ripple effect. It uplifts not only the individual, but also the community around them. Ultimately, resilience is a choice. It is the decision to keep showing up, to keep believing, and to keep fighting for what matters. It doesn't mean you won't get tired or discouraged. It means you won't stay down, and in the end, that persistence is what leads to true, lasting success. Compassion is often overlooked as a requirement for success, but it is one of the most powerful forces we can embody. True success is not measured solely by what we achieve for ourselves, but by how we impact the lives of others. Compassion is the ability to understand, care for, and act with kindness toward those around us. It requires empathy, the ability to put yourself in another's position, and humility, the recognition that we are all connected, and no one rises entirely on their own. In a competitive world, compassion can seem like a weakness, but in truth, it is a profound strength. It takes courage to care, to pause your own ambitions to help someone else, to lift others as you climb. People who lead with compassion build deeper relationships, earn trust, and create environments where others can thrive. They understand that success is not a race against others, but a journey we can walk together. When you help someone else grow, you grow too. Compassion creates space for collaboration, unity, and a sense of shared purpose. Moreover, compassion brings perspective. When you're focused only on your own goals, it's easy to become consumed by pressure, disappointment, or ego. But when you take time to consider the struggles and hopes of others, you gain balance. You are reminded of what truly matters, not just achievement, but meaning. Compassion grounds you in values that outlast temporary wins, love, respect, and dignity. These are the foundations of a lasting legacy. In practice, compassion shows up in small acts, listening when someone needs to be heard, encouraging a colleague who's struggling, forgiving someone who made a mistake. These moments may seem minor, but they shape your character. They create a life that is not only successful but also significant. People may forget your awards or titles, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Your kindness, your patience, your willingness to stand with someone in their lowest moment, these things endure. Even in leadership, compassion is essential. The best leaders are not those who command with fear, but those who guide with care. They build trust, loyalty, and lasting respect. They understand that empowering others does not diminish their own strength, it multiplies it. A compassionate leader lifts everyone, and in doing so, creates a team, a family, a legacy that will outlive their own achievements. As we look toward success, let us not forget that we are part of something greater than ourselves. Our words, our actions, and our choices impact the lives of others. If we pursue success without compassion, we may gain power but lose purpose. But if we lead with heart, with kindness, and with the desire to make the world better for others, then our success becomes something far more meaningful. So let this be the measure of true achievement, not just how high we rise, but how deeply we care. Let us strive to be courageous in our actions, disciplined in our efforts, resilient in our struggles, and compassionate in our victories. For in doing so, we do not just succeed. We inspire, we uplift, and we leave a mark that time cannot erase.